Who says the Texas game isn't big? Welcome to a special Beat Texas edition of the Hog Central Podcast. Z is on the left. Ernie's up there to the right. Gentlemen, I feel like I should guard you closely today. How about that defense last night from the Hogs? Texas hadn't turned the ball over much this season. 8 turnovers in the first half, and I don't think they were ready for that pressure.
Well, I just think I think Texas thought we was going to play a little different, and I thought our man-to-man defense intensity was really, really good. And you got to give us credit. We played defense for the first half last night, and I'm so happy that this basketball team is finally putting the pieces together and look like they're going to move forward.
Yes, sir. Finally. But you're right, Sully. It was defense, just like in Rupp Arena. It started with DJ at the top, Billy when he was up there, Carter Knox. He got tasked with guarding Trey Johnson. And we talked about him on here, and I really thought Trey Johnson was an incredible player. He went 6 of 22. I wasn't feeling quite the same. He's a good player. He's a good player,
Yeah.
but I thought he would be able to attack more. He's not really a guy that aggressively attacks over and over. He'll attack every once in a while. But for him to go 6 of 22, mostly it was Carter on him. Nelly guarded him a few times when Carter was out. Billy guarded him a little bit. I think DJ was on him once or twice. But this guy goes 6 of 22, Ernie. And this is a guy, a lot of people think so, a lottery pick. And he struggled against Arkansas's defense. Arkansas is long. They played physical.
Yeah.
Who would have ever thought, Ernie? Well, we all thought it. We all thought this team could. But I never thought we were a physical team. November, December, January. And now we're physical. We're playing physical. The guards are physical.
Hey, how much is it that when you look at these 5 guys basically playing 30 minutes or more, that Carter Knox is a man, and then you have the goaltender back there, 7'2", that's become a great rim protector that you could take chances, overplay your guys, and, he's on the back end. They really have a great setup with those 6 guys. They basically play 6 guys right now, a lot of minutes. We've talked about 9, but there's 6 guys. Billy Richmond's coming off the bench and filling in a couple of spots. Adu hardly played last night. Brazil's getting a few minutes, but it's those 6 guys, and all of them are elite defenders. I mean, when you talk about long and, you get Billy Richmond coming in after you get DJ Wagner for a while. That's no relief when you get Richmond on you.
What this basketball team does really well is they get a lot of touches, and they cause havoc on the defensive end for most basketball team. And you got those guards that pressure the other team guard. Look at Texas guards. They turned the ball over so much in the first half. I text Coach Z and I said, Texas is pitiful tonight, which they were. But it was Arkansas defense that made them pitiful last night.
Well, you're right. At halftime, I was thinking, throughout the first half, but it's sitting there at halftime just thinking about the game. We made a team that's pretty good. Texas looked really bad.
Yeah, great point.
And 3 times in the first half, Texas was chirping to Texas. Texas players were mad at Texas players. Texas players got frustrated towards the Texas bench. Rodney Terry was trying to do everything he could do. But Arkansas made them all frustrated. That was an upset, frustrated team, and they couldn't get out of their own way fighting amongst each other to go fight the Razorbacks. And it's not that they don't – I'm sure they get along great. I'm sure Texas guys love them. They were frustrated, Ernie. And the little guard who came in and played very well, Julian Larry, he was mad at everybody in a stretch right before halftime. He was mad at everybody involved with Texas basketball. And interesting was he drove one time and scored. He made it 30-24. And nice basket. He goes to the line for the and one. He bricks it. And he was coming down the court mad and upset because he missed the free throw. I get that. They didn't score again the rest of the half, and they didn't score for almost 4 minutes of the second half. And from the time he bricked that free throw till the time they finally scored, it was a big 15-0 Arkansas run to take control of the game. You were already up 6. You go on a 15-0 run. Now you're up 21. You end up being up 23. Texas, I give them credit. They fought, they battled, they played very hard in the second half, or they'd have got beat 30.
Yeah, they were stuck
They were facing a 30-point whipping.
Yeah, they were stuck at 24 for a while. Let's talk about Nelly. We talk a lot about his shot. He took 1 3-pointer in the first half. And I look back at his stats from Florida Atlantic because he's become a above average defender. There it is, the one he's got the shot chart. His 1-3 in the first half. He was 4 of 7 in the second half. But something I noticed at Florida Atlantic, he averaged 2 steals a game his last 2 seasons, and he's become a guy that's kind of a thief on defense. He had 4 steals. He interrupted a lot of passes, and he started scoring, and we're seeing more facets of his game. He's playing better defensively, and he's just added to that defense. But I never pictured Nelly as an elite defender, but he created a lot of havoc last night.
What he's doing is he's letting his defense turn into offense. What he's doing is playing great defense, and he's getting some easy looks now, and so it's really helping this basketball team. Nelly Davis is a leader, and if he just continue to play the way he's playing, this basketball team has a chance to go a long ways. And I'm starting to believe this basketball team is putting the pieces together at the right time.
And you mentioned Z earlier about him coaching teammates.
I thought that was one of the biggest things. I saw him do a little of it in Rupp Arena with Billy, but in Texas, in their little gym they got, there's a play in the second half right in front of Arkansas's bench, and that's where we were kind of at. And we miss a shot, and Carter Knox is fighting for the rebound. He fouls. They get the ball, and he kind of fouls them. We're winning. We're not going to lose the game, but it's still not signed, sealed, and delivered yet. And Carter got a little frustrated. He looked at the referee and said something. He was hustling. Carter plays very hard, but Nelly immediately kind of went to Carter Knox and kind of calmed him down and talked to him. And then Carter still was looking at the referee, and he said, "Leave the referee alone." And they go down to the other end because Texas get to shoot 2 free throws because this is in the stretch work. We fouled 12, 13 times and a half at that point, so they get 2 foul shots. And they're both on opposites on either side of the free throw lane. We're on the defensive rebound stance. And he's still talking across the free throw lane, Nelly to Carter. And the referees are taking a second to get ordered. He walks over there and gets right to him. He doesn't get mad. He's not yelling. And he's encouraging Nelly. He's touching him on the shoulder. He's talking to him. You could see him coaching him. I couldn't tell what all he said down there, but he was talking to him. And then Carter really took a deep breath and calmed down. Nelly gave him a pat on the back, and we kept on playing. But you could see that older guy, Ernie, coaching and teaching. He's about 23 years old.
I was just going to say he's a grown man.
Well, he's a grown man.
He's been around the block. The block.
You know what Kenny Payne said about Nelly? He said he handles himself like a pro, that he doesn't worry about him. The kid gets in, he gets his work done, he gets his extra work done. He said you never have to worry about Nelly Davis. And I think that's a reason they've had the long leash with him, that they haven't complained about his 3-point shots because he's the guy putting the work in. And who would have thought this? He was the guy 3 games ago opponents were letting shoot the ball. Now he's going to be the focus of future game plans when you're game planning for Arkansas, is that you got to chase Nelly around the court. And you mentioned a great point at Rupp Arena, and I saw it again last night, Z. They run him off so many screens that it's like a gerbil wheel. He's going one side, he goes the other side.
Yeah. It's like he's playing soccer.
Yeah. You got to get his basketball team credit. 2 weeks ago, we all was thinking, the season is over.
Yeah.
This team goes to Rupp Arena, beats Kentucky, go to Texas and beat Texas. Now everybody's excited, and everybody is so excited. I'm really excited because I was worried about this team. I know they have great players, but I didn't know if they was going to ever gel and put all the pieces together. And
you weren't the only one. You weren't the only one worried. I mean, but hey, credit Coach for finding the right players to put on the floor. We all thought the answer, was going to be a different guy in the middle. Now Z's getting 34, 35 minutes. And how good is Carter playing? I mean, look at his deal. I mean, with the minutes he's getting, 35 minutes, and it's just incredible. They're going with those 5, And I didn't think it would be that 5, but it's hey, credit to the coaches and letting this team morph into what they are.
And, it's amazing, how this team, the chemistry of this basketball team, when they made a run, Coach Cal called the timeout, and he runs the back door, and we get the alley-oop dunk to Z. That's a great play call out the timeout because everybody is chasing Nelly Davis. So Nelly Davis was a decoy on that play, and everybody was running to Nelly, and Carter Knox come up and set a perfect back screen, and Big Z catches the dunk. And that's what you have to do. You have to know your personnel and what works in what situation. And I'm happy for this basketball team. I'm happy that the Razorbacks are playing good and looking good. And I can't wait to see what's going to happen Saturday night. There's a big ball game. Alabama coming into Fayetteville. Bud Walton Arena should be rocking. Z, I'm going to be in the house, baby. We need to be rocking and rolling Saturday.
Hey, what was it like?
This team is ready.
What was it like in the plane on the way back last night, Z?
Yeah, it was a happy basketball team, happy travel party. Coach was very happy in the locker room. The players, when Coach got done talking to them and they started doing media, they flared the music up, Ernie. I thought I was at the old post office circa 1989. it was or maybe Doc Murdoch's.
Don't tell our secret. Don't tell our secret.
Yeah. And man, they were so happy and just feeling really good. And that some of those guys were already talking about Alabama and looking forward to the game and how the Bud was going to be. They know the Bud's been good. The Bud got beat up a little bit in November and December, but that to me was the schedule. It was all bye games. The Bud sold out 20,000 every game, whether people come or not. Once we get the Florida game was pretty full. Even the Oklahoma game where we lost on a Saturday night was full. But this one will be slam packed, and it'll be an incredible atmosphere. There's been a lot of incredible atmospheres in Bud Walton.
Right. Yes. I got one thing to interject.
Yeah.
And maybe you can tell me this, Coach Z. Why the hell we been shooting better on the road than we shoot at home in Bud Walton Arena?
Well, if you ask Coach Richardson, he's going to say you need to practice where you play.
Oh, they practicing in the practice facility.
But I don't put it on that. I've seen, Musselman's teams shot pretty good in the Bud. Generally, last year they didn't. But generally, they shot good in the Bud, and he never practiced in the Bud except for maybe the day before the game. I was kidding about Coach Richardson, but he does always believe that. And he told Mike Anderson that all the time. During the season, this practice facility is great for when Walmart's in town and all the graduation. But other than that, get over there. That's Coach Richardson's way. And that's not and Coach Cal and them go over there some too. But I believe in practicing in the Bud and going to Bud and being the Bud because it is where you play. But you know what? Kentucky shoots well in Rupp, and they never practice in Rupp. They didn't practice in Rupp much throughout history. They don't now. They didn't when Coach Cal was there, just here and there. And so teams that do that, I guess they get used to it. It's an NBA mentality. NBA teams don't practice much ever in the arena they play in. They shoot the cover off the ball. So that's that.
Hey, one thing I like about this team going forward, you're not hanging your hat on hitting threes or on the offensive side of the floor. When people talk about Arkansas, when Rodney Terry was addressing the media last night, it wasn't anything about the offense. It was all about, like you said, how physical they were and how they picked up Texas so aggressively, and they weren't ready for that. And this is a Texas team that has not turned the ball over this season. I think they're averaging 10 or 11 a game, and they had 8 in the first half. And there were live ball turnovers that led to breaks, and they really just gave a Texas team that hasn't had that as an issue. It was a big issue last night, and that bodes well for Arkansas going forward, that they're presenting pressure that other teams are not seeing around the league.
And this is what I think happens. Texas goes to Alabama, blows Alabama out. LSU beat us at their place. So I think they came in a little cocky, saying, hey, Arkansas
these guys lost at LSU. We blew them out.
Right, we blew them out. And I think they didn't take us serious, and we come out and hit them in the mouth real early, and they had a lot of turnovers, and I think they thought it was going to be a cakewalk. But this basketball team, this Arkansas Razorback basketball team, is really improving at the right time. And I'm so happy that we've had 2 wins in a row, and the state is excited again. I'm excited to be a former player. and we're playing great. And I just can't wait to Saturday to be in Bud Walton Arena at 7:30 at night. The place is going to be rocking, and we got Nate Oates coming to the house. I hope we send him back with a big L.
Hey, Z, you've seen a lot of games, and Ernie, you've officiated games. A lot of talk about the officiating in the second half, where Arkansas had the edge in free throws in the first half. And there's the thinking now from some fans that the officials, the Texas got word to them that, hey, we're at home and we're on the backside of these numbers. In the second half, and the numbers were obviously lopsided the other way in the second half. Z, you witnessed it firsthand. Did Arkansas get a fair shake in the second half?
Yeah, we got a great shake. Bart Lennox, Steven Anderson, Jeb Hart. Now, Hartness was the crew chief. He's usually a third guy. He was the crew chief at LSU.
Yeah.
You think about those flagrant fouls at LSU.
Oh, yeah, that was terrible.
All that stuff. Jeb Hartness ran. But I thought they were good. They called it a little bit too tight for us in the second half. Here's the deal. This is why we got a fair shake. You can always get it worse on the road. Number one, they were very fair in the first half. And we had, at one point, there was 7 fouls on the home team and 2 fouls on us.
Yeah.
We'll take that all day of the week.
Yeah.
They weren't cheating for either team. It was 7-2 in favor of us at one point in the first half. And then it ended up being like 7-5. And then the second half, they called it tighter in general. And a lot of fouls went against us. We were very aggressive. And down in front of the home team's bench, Rodney Terry, first half he didn't say boo. But in the second half, Rodney Terry worked them a little bit. It's in front of his bench, and he got a few more calls. I thought the officials did a good job. At the end of the day, when it was all said and done, there was 23 fouls called on Arkansas, 24 fouls called on Texas. That's about as even as you can get.
Yeah.
Here's another thing why I think we got a good whistle. Was it both in the first half or once in the first half, right in front of Arkansas's bench? The ball came off the rim hard. We hit the ball, went out of bounds. They gave it to us.
Correct. I was just thinking.
Yeah. We went down and scored.
Yeah.
I asked Mike Gaywood beside me, I said, that was out on us. He said, yes. And then another play, I think it was actually before that, they did a baseline drift and threw the ball along the baseline. Texas did. We hit the ball. The ball went out of bounds. All the officials looked at each other. They didn't know what to do. Jump ball. Arrow went to Arkansas, and we went down and scored again. Yeah. So a couple of hard ones that they couldn't really see very well, Sully, they went our way.
Yeah.
And we took advantage of that. We weren't cheating. They weren't cheating. Nobody was cheating. The officials were fair.
Yeah, I thought in the basketball game in the second half, Texas started attacking us. We attacked them in the first half. And as a referee, if it doesn't affect rhythm, balance, and speed, it's not a foul. All contact in basketball is not a foul. And our fans need to realize that. Every time a team makes a run, they always say, we getting the screws on the referees. I thought the game was officiated very well. I thought we got some breaks in the first half that were, for playoffs, but they called fouls for us. So we need to be happy with a 23-24 foul situation in a basketball game on the road. The fans shouldn't say anything. I thought the game was officiated very well.
How about the way they answered at the end of the game? Thero had a couple of big drives. Carter Knox and Billy Richmond combined were like 10 of 10 from the free throw line. It was impressive to see when the lead was slipping away, the way we responded with buckets just to maintain that lead and keep them at arm's length there. I was really impressed with the way they answered.
I thought this team showed tremendous poise late in the basketball game. Most times you see a guy get fouled, he go to the line, he's looking around, he's nervous. Those guys have confidence in their ability to make free throws. And I like this team when the game is on the line, they make free throws. And hey, Thero didn't have his A game last night, he had a B game.
He didn't feel well.
He missed a lot of free throws, so we won at the end.
Yeah. And 20 for 20 at the foul line, Sully, for the guys you're talking about. Carter, Billy, 2 highly acclaimed freshmen.
Yeah.
Nellie Davis and DJ Wagner.
Wow.
Those 4 guys, you could call them guards, whatever you want to call those 4. Those 4 players went 20 for 20 at the free throw line.
Wow. That's amazing.
You know what? I don't even look at DJ Wagner's numbers now, but he just seems to be running the team well. He's defending well. He's getting the ball. He's moving the ball around. I think we've got a really good point guard right now. He's playing with a lot of confidence.
I really think DJ has, I never could figure out, why when Boogie was still playing, he would run away from the basketball. He is a true point guard. And if he's going to play at the next level, he's going to play the one. So he just soon to stay in that spot. And I thought last night he hit 2 or 3 crucial drives to the basket with his left hand when they was making runs. And he gets the ball to guys in space for them to make good decisions. And that's what a good floor general does. I really like DJ Wagner. He's stepping up and he's really playing great basketball for us. And I don't know if he's the leader or Nelly David, but they're close. I think both of those guys are great leaders for this basketball team.
That's well said. And DJ has stepped up so much, and he's just better with the ball than he is playing off the ball, just so based on what we've seen from November until February. And he's playing better. Nothing against Boogie. Boogie,
yeah,
great player. Right.
Great player. 103 assists, 28 turnovers.
Hey, great to see Boogie on the bench last night. I mean, he's a guy who could check out right now, but he's with his guys.
And how about this? He wanted to wear his jersey, so they didn't give him his jersey. So I went through the locker room, an hour and a half or so before the game. We got there 2 hours before the game. We were worried about the Austin traffic a little bit. So game's at 8 o'clock. At 6 o'clock, we're there. And I go in the locker room. He's going through the equipment stuff with Daniel Reeves, equipment manager. They're pulling out his jersey. He's, I want to wear my jersey.
Oh,
I love it.
Nice.
Yeah,
that is really good. I mean, these kids are great kids coming in with all these accolades, and you want them to have a great Razorback experience. And I think Boogie is enjoying. He's hurt right now, but he's still a part of this basketball team, and I think he's so happy with the success of this basketball team.
Yeah. Absolutely. And what if you get him back? I mean, they've not said he's out for sure. He's had surgery. That's been done. That was done like January 21st.
Yeah.
So we played a good piece without him. They're not saying he's going to be back in a week or two. We're not hearing that. He's not even practicing at this point. But it's only February the 6th.
Correct.
Is he going to be able to come back down the road? Because, we're still a long ways away. We're now at the halfway mark of the SEC race. We still got 9 more games over this stretch. You got the conference tournament. That's the NCAA tournament doesn't start for almost 6 weeks.
Yeah.
A lot can heal up in 6 weeks. We'll see if he comes back.
You know what I love about this team? Go Ernie.
If it was Sully and Matt and I, we would be out for the rest of the year because we're too old to heal that fast.
That's right.
We all would be out.
And what I like about this team too, looking at them, I don't see anyone trying to do something they can't do. Like Carter Knox is happy taking 2 shots and going 6 for 6 from the line. You don't see, Wagner putting up 17 shots. Theo probably undershoots. I mean, he
only shot 5 times last night.
But how many key points in that first half did he carry us just by getting contact and going to the free throw line? Didn't hit all his free throws, but he got to the line time after time during that first half run.
Yeah. And Ernie, you saw him driving as well as he did. How about this, Sully? 2:33 to go in the first half, and dude drives and gets fouled. He went 0 for 2, though.
Yeah.
2:33 to go for halftime. 2:07, he shoots 2 more free throws. 1:52, he shoots 2 more free throws.
It was incredible.
1:36, he shoots 2 more free throws. He shot 10 free throws right before halftime.
Yeah. How big was that? That was during that run, and I felt like you just verified it there. It felt like he was living at the free throw line, drawing contact. He makes officials make the call.
Yeah, and so who could say? And I had people at work, saying at the foundation, like, we got a terrible whistle. I was like, I thought we got a really good whistle.
Yeah,
great
and they
whistle.
called it tight in the second half.
Great.
I've been on the road where you couldn't get those calls where you drive in there and bully over everybody. But he was so strong to the basket, they had to call it. And they were all good calls.
Hey, you mentioned earlier, Z, something very important. We viewed this as kind of a finesse team early in the season, where now, other teams, like Rodney Terry was saying, they weren't ready for the physical nature and the way Arkansas played. Now we're viewed by the outside world as a real physical team. And maybe it's just that when you sub Boogie, and not that they're a better team without Boogie, when you take Boogie out and you put a man in there, Carter Knox, and you got Carter and Theo, and then you've got, Nelly's a physical guy too. You've got some strong guys in the edge, and then you got the goaltender there, Z. And how about Z adding a little to his offensive game? He had kind of an awkward drive, but it went in. and then he hit the big three. And I think the more he plays, the more we're going to see, what he can do in the offensive end. And he's just fun to watch because the guy is, I don't know if he's trash talking or what he's doing out there, but he seems to be having a big time
He's
play.
speaking a different language. He's talking trash in a different language. No, I like Big Z, and I'll tell you why I like this kid. He plays both ends of the court.
Yeah.
Most guys that can score only plays one end. Big Z plays both ends. He blocks shots. He run the floor. He rebound. He step back. He hit the three. He didn't block a lot of shots, but he altered a lot of shots last night.
He discouraged a lot of guys from coming in there. They'd get there and they'd go back out, and he's just fun to watch. And my fear is he may grow into a draft pick because he's a very intriguing prospect with he may not be strong enough right now, but he can shoot the three ball. He's becoming a defensive rebounder, and he is 7 whatever he is. Z says no.
7'2". I think he'll be back. I think he needs a little more time.
Yeah, I looked at the NBA draft. Right now, they have him going in late second round. If I'm him, I come back to school.
Yeah.
I think he needs to come back.
Yeah. Sully, let me piggyback on what he said. Ronnie Brewer and I were talking about this the other day. Very stunning. Just 2 years ago, 3 years ago, we were already in NIL. But it was considered, if you were going to be a second-round draft pick, you come back to school.
Yeah.
In 2 or 3 years, that's changed. Ronnie Brewer's involved in this stuff. He's on the staff.
Yeah.
He says now, with the money being paid, if you're not a lottery,
He correct.
Wow.
You come back to school because why? Because you're making more money at a major university getting paid than you are as a first-round pick, number 15 through number 30.
Wow.
No.
Matt, I got a question. Can we go back into the university and I get some NIL money?
Yeah, absolutely.
We're going to file a class action lawsuit.
I got $23 here for you. I got $23 for Ernie Burr. You are worth hundreds of thousands, though.
Okay, now we've got 9 games left. How many wins do we? I hear people saying 5 wins would get you to 8 wins. 5 more wins would get you to 8-10 in conference play, and pretty much put you in. But Z, you're thinking 7, the right 7 combination could possibly get you in. True?
Yeah, and Arkansas, as good as you're playing, they shouldn't be thinking they should be trying to win every one of these games.
Yeah.
So Auburn's going. We got 5 of them at home.
Yeah.
I'm not ever going to say if we don't go 5-0, I'll be disappointed. I'm disappointed we lost at LSU.
Yeah, that Oklahoma loss was a bad loss.
Terrible loss.
Yeah.
Terrible. LSU gets us. They've gotten us like 3 years where we've played them early in the season down there. They beat us, and then they don't beat anybody else.
Yeah.
That happened to most of this team. They played us on the night we played Kansas in football.
I remember that.
We shot 22% from the field.
I think it was the SEC opener.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they lost their next 16 SEC games in a row.
Wow. I think this basketball team, I think every game on our schedule is winnable if we continue to play and improve the way we have been in the last 2 games. I wouldn't be surprised if this team win 8 or 9 games in conference play.
Hey,
it starts Saturday. That's a big game Saturday.
We always complain about the football schedule. The basketball schedule could help us this year because we've pointed this out before. They don't play Tennessee, Alabama, Auburn twice. They play them once.
Wow.
In Florida once. And this schedule could be a lot worse. And
I think it's a great schedule because Sully, we talked about this before. A&M, we used to have to play them twice, and that was usually a split. But you get LSU and Missouri twice now. Missouri's having a good season. They beat us. We should have gone 2-0 against LSU. The best we can do is 1-1 now. But the other team's Texas.
Yeah.
That's a good trade-off for us. I would rather, no offense to them.
Yeah.
I think anybody that knows anything about basketball would rather play Texas twice than play Texas A&M twice. Or especially Auburn twice, or Tennessee twice, or Florida twice.
Yeah, I agree. I think the schedule, Sully, you are correct. I think the schedule is really in our favor. We just got to take care home and steal 1 or 2 on the road, and then we'll be fine. I just hope this basketball team just come out and continue to play with that same energy, that same passion, that same togetherness. They look like they're having fun now. Look like they're They're having fun. They got chemistry. They got everything going. We just need them to just keep getting better every game. I love this basketball team the way they're playing right now.
How about Cal at halftime? Usually coaches give you very little at halftime because you're right in the feel of the game. The first half just ended, and Cal's over there saying, "I love this team. Love coaching this team." You don't hear coaches say that very often during a halftime. What else more can I expect from this team? He was thrilled at halftime, and I don't think it had anything to do with the score. It's the way they play.
Well, and he's probably been struggling going home, beating himself up at night, saying, "What button do I push to get this basketball team going?" And he has finally found the nucleus, the 6 or 7 that's playing the way he likes to play. And I think he's excited, that they won 2 in a row. That's big. It's been a while since this team won 2 in a row. So I think he's happy and he's bragging on them, and that's what you got to do. You got to keep these guys' morale up, and I think he's doing a great job with this team. In January and early February, you could see them putting the pieces together. I like a coach that encourages his basketball team. Don't put any blame on the kids. When we weren't playing good, he said, "I got to do a better job coaching." I love that.
Well, a perfect example, if you look at one player, is Nelly. People were probably wondering, why are you letting him shoot? And he kept shooting, and now look at him now. I mean, the last 2 games, they don't beat Kentucky and they don't beat Texas without Nelly leading the way. And he's finally the guy that he was advertised to be. I mean, 4 steals last night, 4 of 7 from the 3 in the second half. And he's become a leader, Z mentioned. And what a great, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And think about that kid. And, we talk about his struggles. How do you think he felt going through that? He probably has dreams of playing in the NBA. This is supposed to be a great year, but I loved hearing what Kenny Payne said, that the kid's a pro, that he comes in and puts the work in the morning. We don't worry about him, and it's good to see a kid like that have success, because we don't get to see them in that way. And to hear Kenny Payne say that, you appreciate a kid who handles his business like that.
Yeah, definitely. And, he was a hot commodity. It was a recruiting battle to get him. So he needed to come here and be really good. And he was just okay at times. And times he was bad. And now he's been tremendous for the last 3 or 4 games. And I don't think we have to worry about him sliding back. I think he's figured it out. I think he's figured it out along with DJ. I think he knows his role. I think he knows what the coaches expect from him. He's a darn good player. He's a tough kid. When he shoots the ball, the rotation, the spin, everything looks so beautiful on his shot. And he's poised to have a tremendous last 9 games. If I'm the coach, you're gotta let him go. And he's getting all these points and all these minutes, and he's playing almost the whole time. Last night, 39 minutes in 25 seconds.
Wow.
I mean, we barely took him out. He was out 35 seconds. So that makes you feel good as a player. Now we got to make sure he stays healthy, which he has done since he overcame the wrist injury. And then we got to make sure he's got some legs left. Because if I'm Arkansas, we're trying to win every single game. We're not worried about the conference tournament yet. We're not worried about the NCAA tournament. We're just trying to notch wins, and it starts by beating Alabama. We've won 2 good games in a row. We've already lost 3 home games we shouldn't have lost. So now let's go win the rest of these home games. And it starts with Alabama. And we're due to beat them. Alabama's a nice program, great coach, and it's time to beat them. They have a very important player out to me. I liked him. When we played him before. Latrell Reitzel, he's a tough hard-nosed guard. He ruptured out his Achilles, unfortunately for him. And I think that's had a toll on Alabama. They've been able to win some games, but their toughest part of their schedule's coming. They still got to play Auburn twice.
Yeah. And, Alabama's had some issues, and I don't know what the issue was. A couple games ago, Nate Oak didn't even play the point guard.
Sears,
so they got some dynamics going on. But Nelly Davis was the number 1 shooting guard in the transfer portal.
Yeah.
And we got it. And
a lot of fans were wanting.
You know what that means, don't you, Ernie?
What's that?
Yeah, he can fill it up.
It means he can fill it up, and then people have seen you play well, and people have faith in you. You don't get those kind of players for free.
Yeah.
So I know.
A month ago, fans were looking for a refund. I don't know if he read that or not, but hey, props to him and props to this entire team, because it's hard to avoid the talk.
It is.
And people were starting to write them off. And, hey, to a man, every one of them, the top 6 or top 7. And Cal makes a point to point that out after the game, that you're all contributing, that everyone is contributing. He pointed out Billy Richmond, said that block. Who else in America could make that block that Billy Richmond made?
Billy Richmond.
He spiked it.
Really
Great call.
I watched him work out in Pine Bluff, and I was really impressed. Billy Richardson is a Nolan Richardson type of kid. He plays hard. He plays both ends. He's very, very, very athletic. That guy thought he had a layup last night when he beat him, and Billy comes out of nowhere and swats it all the way out of bounds. Billy is a great athlete, great young player who has a bright future. I like this basketball team. We got a lot of pieces with this basketball team.
You seldom see a play like that where a guy defends him all the way down court. When they get to the bucket, he just spikes the ball. That was an incredible defensive play. Incredible. Especially at the time, too, when there's like 40 seconds left in the game and they need a bucket desperately. All right, we've got less than a minute, Z. Final words from you.
Well, if you're a Razorback fan, you got to be very happy. It was a tremendous 5-day period, and you're back. You're going to make the NCAA tournament. You get those kind of wins, you're going to make it. And don't have any. I hope we can hang in there with Alabama. I hope we can play. No, you got to beat Alabama. You go beat.
That's
Alabama.
right. And that's the way they're thinking.
Yeah, that's the way our guys are thinking. I hope we can. Someone said, I hope we don't go to Texas and get blown out. Well, sure, of course we don't want to get blown out. But Texas, they're a beatable team. The Hogs went down there and smacked them. And that's the mentality you got to have. Should we beat Alabama at home? Yes. Should we beat LSU at home? Yeah, we better. Yeah. And that's got to be the mentality as you move forward.
All right, thank you guys. And Ernie, you mastered Zoom. Thank you up there in the upper right-hand corner. And enjoy your trip to Fayetteville on Saturday.
All right, I'll see you Saturday, Z.
All right, thank you guys. Appreciate you.